Hey guys, it's Christine, Indigowingshealing, and I am here with you to do the weekly twin flame reading for the week of February 19th through the 25th. So before I get started, I want to talk a little bit about how right now we are right in the middle of the two eclipses. And I'm bringing it up because it is relevant to this week's reading. And I think it's relevant to a lot of what I think many people are going through right now. So with the eclipse that we had a week ago, it opened a doorway to a hall, like think of it as opening a door to a hallway, and behind us the doorway shut. So right now we're in this hallway where we're getting these upgrades, these energy downloads, but there's not really anywhere for us to go because we're waiting for the next doorway to open, which it'll open I think it's next week. I should know the date, but it'll open at the full moon, or not the full moon, the new moon eclipse. And once that happens, you're gonna feel a lot of the pressure release. You're gonna feel better. And we're gonna be moving into the next stage of this growth that we're in. So hang on if you're having a tough time. Just need to wait for that doorway to open, and we'll get out of this eclipse hallway that we are in right now. I do want to remind you guys that I have the new reading that I'm offering, the Life Path reading. It's $35. The price will go up in about a week. It is a reading that I am offering using this deck by Kyle Gray, The Keepers of the Light. And just to give you an idea of what this reading consists of, there's 7 cards, and the cards represent what is a gift or a strength that you have, what's currently going on in your life, something that supports your happiness, an obstacle or a challenge you need to overcome or are overcoming. And then the last 3 questions are my personal favorite and why I really wanted to offer this reading. It's what your angels want you to know, what your guides want you to know, and what your heart wants you to know, which I think is really sweet. So if you're interested in that reading, get in touch with me, send me an email, contact me through my website or my Facebook page, and we'll get you set up with that. Those will be $35 through next Wednesday, which is February 22nd. After that, the price will be going up on it. I'm finally almost done with the full moon readings. They've been really fun to do, and I feel like everybody's been getting some really, really nice messages. I've been getting great feedback on them. So thank you to everybody who went ahead and ordered one of those readings. I feel like people learned a lot about what they're going to be going through, and a lot of really good stuff came up. So with that, I'm going to get started with this week's reading. If you are familiar with my readings, this side is the feminine energy, this side's the masculine energy. I do ask for messages to come through for as many people as possible, but Spirit tells me what they want to tell me. So if the message doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. It's not the message for you. if it does resonate with you, if it feels like I'm talking directly to you, I'm the reader for you. So, yeah, with that, I think I said everything I wanted to say in the beginning here. So I'm going to get started. So I feel like the energies of this week, I feel like there's some balance taking place, like things are balancing out a little bit. The first card on the feminine side is Blossom. And specifically, with this card, we know that the feminine has been doing a lot of work. And we know that the feminine is typically very spiritual and has been doing a lot of growing. To me, this card is saying that it's the trust in the divine, trust and faith in the universe, and that everything is working out exactly the way it's supposed to. That is what's blossoming here. And the clarifying card that I pulled here is Archangel Michael, and it literally says, sorry, I'm trying to hold this so that it doesn't glare. There we go. It literally says trusting heaven on this card. And so I feel like that's such a nice confirmation that, it's like just one further closer step for the feminine. They are really trusting the divine here to bring them what is for their highest good. And they're really working on that detachment and going with the flow and focusing within. And that's what we keep talking about, to do the work on yourself. Focus on yourself. So yeah, and this Archangel Michael card, it's all about surrendering your concerns and leaving room for a miracle to occur. And that, I feel like that's exactly where a lot of the feminine are finally moving into that space. And I don't want you guys to feel like if you're not doing that perfectly, you're not doing it right, or that you're not doing well. The fact that you're moving into that space is still a really good thing. There's a saying that I heard a few years ago, and I feel like it changed my life because I tend to be a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo. And it was imperfect progress. And I do feel like that is the name of this game, imperfect progress. You're putting the work in, and you might not be doing it perfectly all the time. There's no such thing as perfect. But you have the idea. You're moving in the right direction. You have the right mindset. We all have slips. Give yourself some grace and, pick yourself up, keep moving. So, this card makes me really happy for the feminine, where the feminine is. Now, on the masculine side, I'm just going to come right out and say it right now. The masculine, dark night of the soul. This hallway, this eclipse hallway that they are in, dark night of the soul for many of the masculine twins right now. They are not having an easy go of it. Some of you feminine twins can feel it, can pick up on it. Some of you can't. That's okay. Some of you, some of you are in separation, have no idea what's going on. You might be better off, to be honest with you. Stay in your little bubble for right now, because they are doing some major work on themselves. They've got some big time fears coming up, and releasing to do. The card over here for the masculine is Darkest Fears. And you know what's interesting to me on this card? And this came up in a reading that I did this week. And to me, you know, this reminds me of what it looks like when there's an eclipse. And so to me, this is telling me that this eclipse has started bringing up all the darkest fears for the masculine. And this card's a 9, so this 9, there is, you know, I'm really getting this feeling that there's something that is coming to the end here. There's an end of a cycle. Something is coming up for completion. There's definitely, you know, like for some, I want to say death of the ego, which is, you know, dark night of the soul. You know, for some, this could be karmic partnerships, bad living situations, but there are some major things that are coming to an end, and I feel like the groundwork, you know, I'm not saying that in this 2-week period, all of a sudden, boom, major things that needed to end or change for the masculine suddenly happened, but I feel like there's some major groundwork taking place here. And the clarifying card I pulled up here is Lady Portia. And Lady Portia is all about divine order, and you know, that she's all about how there is a very important lesson that is happening here. And you know, I think anybody who's watching this video right now knows that everything that has taken place, you know, this was divinely orchestrated. This is meant to happen. You know, the divine masculine, most of them probably do not understand that, and if you said that to them, they'd probably be like, they would not. I would say most of them would look at you like you had 3 heads. They're not ready to understand that everything is happening the way that it should right now. But for those of you who see what they're going through, feel what they're going through, are worried, concerned, don't be, because they are okay, and everything is as it should be right now. And I can understand why, you know, people, you know, I can understand that being concerned feeling, but they're okay. So I'm going to go up to the next card for the divine masculine. The next card for them is helpless and hopeless. And whatever's coming up for them with their darkest fears, what's coming up for them in this time. And I feel like this is something that's really, you know, it's been coming up for them over and over again. They feel like there's a decision to make. They feel torn about something. And the person on this card is looking at 2 identical sets of stairs, 2 identical mountains that essentially lead to the same exact place. And, you know, he just doesn't know what way to go. And, you know, what I'm getting is that the divine masculine is really feeling like there's a right or a wrong decision, and there isn't. Nothing traumatic, horrible, awful is going to happen if they choose one path or the other. You know, I'm struggling with how I want to say things. they're just really they're kind of looking at things very black and white. You know, and some people are like that. You know, they see black and white. They can't see shades of gray. And some people would argue that that's a good thing. Some might argue that's not. But the masculine is really, they're really struggling because they want to do what's right for everyone. They want to make everybody happy. But they're forgetting about one important person. They're forgetting about themselves. They're forgetting that what makes them happy is also important. And so this card that came up with it, Kuan Yin, you know, Kuan Yin is all about care and compassion and choosing to be love. And, you know, I feel like this is reinforcing for the masculine that it doesn't matter what decision he makes as long as he is making it out of divine love, as long as he's making the decision that truly is out of love and what is going to lead to his happiness. He knows what that is, but he's really struggling because he wants to do the right thing. You know, and the funny thing is that in a lot of cases here, these two choices, you know, these two paths that he could go down, they're going to take him to the same exact destination. It's just one. It's just going to take longer and it's going to be more difficult. That's really all it is. Because whatever it is that is in his best interest, whatever is meant for his highest good, the universe is going to take him there. Whether he wants it or not, the universe is going to make it happen. Which is going to lead me to talk about the underlying energy that he's bringing to this reading. The card that came up for this is Lead. And what I'm getting specifically for this card is that he is really trying to control the changes that are taking place within him. He thinks that he knows better than the universe how his life should go. And you know, you may have heard it from other readers, leaders in the community, whatever. Until he makes the move that goes in the direction of what's going to take him to his highest good, the universe is going to keep making him more and more and more uncomfortable where he is until he's going to decide that where he is way worse than making that change that he was refusing to make. And so that's what's going on right now. Is he's trying to resist these changes. They are not going according to his plan. They are not on his agenda right now. And you know, I don't want to say it's funny, but he's not gonna outsmart the universe. The universe has a plan for us, and it's gonna happen. So that's definitely the energy that he's bringing to this reading. Now, back to the feminine side, the next card that comes up for the feminine is Nurture. And, you know, it's like, I almost feel like there's not a lot I can say about this card because, I mean, I'm just feeling like the feminine is in just such an awesome place, and she is open to receiving the abundance that is coming for her. She is nurturing herself and what she needs. She's nurturing her spirituality, her spiritual connection, and she's being rewarded for that. So she is in a really, really good place. And the card that I pulled up as a clarifier here is faith. So, I feel like a lot of this card is a continuation of the faith that she is having in the universe and, in spirit, that they're gonna provide for her. She's nurturing that. She's nurturing other people. She's nurturing the light that she sees in other people. She's trusting the good in herself. She's trusting the good in other people. Like, it's just, she's in this really beautiful place of trust, faith, love, and being the light, shining her light. And what's interesting, so these two cards, Archangel Michael and Faith, they are twin flames. And I thought it was interesting that their cards came up right next to each other. That is telling me that the feminine is really in a very balanced place right now with all of this energy. She's very balanced, which is very good considering all of the energetic changes that are taking place around us right now. The energy that the feminine is bringing is listen, which it doesn't surprise me at all when I saw this card, because she's so in tune spiritually, personally. She is really listening to the people around her. She's listening to spirit. She's listening to herself. She is listening to her intuition. She's following her heart. I mean, it's like the perfect package in a way. Like, she's just very on where you want to be with your growth and your progress. So the next card for the feminine is release. And I know some of you might be sitting here going like, what do you mean release? How many more times am I going to release? Well, you're going to release until it's gone. And quite frankly, I don't think that any of us are ever going to fully be out of a cycle of release. I think that there's always going to be something that we can work on. We're always a work in progress. We can always improve. We can always continue to ascend. It's not a bad thing. But to me, this card reminds me of not ascension, but a surrender as well. That the feminine is just, you know what, God, you got this, and I trust you, and I'm giving you my stuff, and I'm letting it go. And that's a really good place to be in coming towards the end of the week, as we're heading into our next eclipse, and we're opening that door, and we're stepping into a new cycle of energy. And I feel like the card that I pulled up as a clarifier here, it's Lord Ganesh. And it's talking about an infinite abundance. I can't talk today. And You know, this card is all about obstacles being removed, spiritual support and connections increasing. Like, how more perfect could this card be to go along with surrender and release? And what I love is that there's a lotus on this card, and if you know anything of the lotus, this is the flower that blooms from the mud and the ick and rises from the depths to bloom into this beautiful flower. And I feel like that is so representative of everything that the feminine's been through. And for this to come up with the release, I just feel like that's very symbolic and a real testament to the strength and the beauty of the divine feminine. So going across on the masculine side, we have confront, and it's 18, which breaks down to a 9, so we have another 9 on his side, and it's a man who is, you know, looking at a shadow. There's a moon, and you know, with the way, I don't think you'll be able to see it in this video with the way this is glaring, but there's like shine lines, and the way this is moved, I don't know, just the way this looks, like you could easily look at this like it's a crescent, but the way I'm looking at this right now, it looks like something is moving over it, like an eclipse. And so this is telling me that as this eclipse draws near, and I'm sure it's not a lunar eclipse totally, and this is not exactly representative of it because it is, it's a new moon, so a new moon eclipse wouldn't look like this, but you're getting like the symbolic meaning behind where I'm going with this. As we head towards this next eclipse, he's going to be facing more stuff. He's going to be facing his shadow self, which is, you know, it's not a bad thing. He may not like it, but it's so important for his growth and for where he's going. You know, it's just more stuff that needs to be confronted and dealt with. And so 2 clarifier cards came out here. One is Green Terra, and Green Terra is all about protection, and I feel like this is you know, partially a message for the feminine to be saying, don't worry about this dark night of the soul, this period. He is protected, he's taken care of. But this is also a message about the period that he's going through. He is moving beyond limitations, and you know, he's learning how to develop his own trust in himself and his intuition and the divine. There's a lot that's going to be happening here. The other card that came up, which I thought was really beautiful, and this one also has a lotus on it. This is Radha. It's Soul Flame. And Radha is all about rediscovering a lost part of yourself, which I do believe is part of what's going to be happening throughout this whole experience with him. It's also about relationship healing, and so there's going to be stuff going on with him that's going to enable him to heal relationships where he needs to. So this is all really necessary stuff that is going to lead him into a very good direction, because where you're coming together in the crowning energy is this move. Which 7, your spiritual path. And so this card, which I discovered this last week, and for those of you who've been watching a lot of my videos, I would love for you to chime in if you've noticed this. I don't know if it's been every single one of my videos, but I know it's been several of them. I'm gonna have to go back and count, but I counted back several videos. This card has shown up in every single video, and it's always been on the feminine side, and now it's in the crowning energy position. I think that's really, really cool. And if you're used to my videos, you usually hear me talking about how I don't think that this is the union card. I think it's union with yourself. Not this time. I really feel like this. Now, I am going to give the little caveat. I don't think you're coming into union in 2 weeks or something like that. But what I do feel like this card is saying, and it's the energy that what is happening while we are in this period between the eclipses and what's happening with the growth, with the dark night of the soul, it is priming you to be in the position for this. This is putting you where you need to be to get into this, which I think is amazing. I know people are going to be really excited to see this. Don't get too excited, because I don't want people to yell at me if they're not coming into union with their twin flame next week or the week after. Because I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't want to be one of those readers that tells you if you do something totally random that you're coming into union tomorrow. But if you're doing the work, and if this is resonating with you, you are so on the path. You're on the right path. I definitely feel like you're moving in the right direction for that. And the card says move. That was not intentional when I said that. So the clarifier card I pulled here is Hilarion. And Hilarion is all about recharging and healing. And so what I'm getting with this card is that the healing that you're doing, both sides, is what's taking you to this place. What's bringing you into a place where you can be more prepared for a union, where you can be on the path for union. And part of why I say that is because, if you see that this heart, it looks like it's bandaged up. And, so it just reminds me of a heart that has been battered and needed healing. And, I feel like the heart still does need more healing, hence this card. And so, it's still going to be a work in progress. But like I said, we're always a work in progress. I don't think anybody gets into union with each other and then all of a sudden the work stops. So we're always going to be working on ourselves. The grounding energy, or the energy that is kind of the basis of this for both twins, is clarity of belief. And it's a 1, which is new beginnings, which I think is so fitting for this. But clarity of belief, I really feel here like this card is, like you're obviously both, trying to feel things out, figure out, where you stand in things. The feminine is so much more go with the flow, and the masculine is not. It's fighting tooth and nail. But they're both, this to me, the basis is love, the heart right here. But then there's this butterfly. And the butterfly represents change and transitions. And I feel so strongly that both the feminine and the masculine are going through major transitions right now. And that is absolutely the foundation of what's going on here. Major transitions that are going to lead to new beginnings. It's just what those new beginnings look like is going to depend on what each individual does with them, because we do have free will, and whatever we decide to do with that free will is where things take us. But I am so proud of both the feminine and the masculine as a collective, because there's clearly just so much work being put in on both sides. The masculine, I feel for them. They're going through the ringer right now. The feminine has been through the ringer, but they're in a really awesome place. So kudos to you. So the last card is an oracle card that I pulled just to summarize the reading, and it's Clean It Up. And this card, I've been using oracle cards from Colette Baron Reed's Wisdom of the Oracle deck. I really like this deck. Each card has 4 meanings, and I don't know, I just feel like it's a really versatile deck. So the meaning I'm reading here is the oracle's message. Ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. Like, could that be more perfect for this reading? Especially since both parties are lining themselves up to be releasing things that are no longer serving them at the end of the week. So I feel like that's pretty perfect. So that's it for this week's reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you all again so much for all of the messages and comments and likes, and the people who have been reaching out and working with me. I'm having so much fun with all the readings that I've been doing for people. I really love connecting with everybody. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and hit subscribe so you are notified every time I upload a new video. My website is indigowingshealing.com. My Facebook page is facebook.com/indigowingshealing, and you can email me at indigowingshealing@gmail.com. So I think that is it for tonight. I hope that you all have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you guys soon.